Dan, I thought we could try something different for today's episode.
Oh boy. All right. Well, it sounds good to me. What do you got in mind?
I'm all about variety. I thought what we could do today to change things up is that we will not complain about the weather.
You mean how hot it is outside and miserable?
Yes. So I thought we've been doing a lot of that lately, and I just thought maybe we could just avoid complaining about the heat.
Yeah,
what do
and
you
the
think?
humidity.
Yeah. But before we get started, let me just say this. All right. It is hot outside, man. Oh my gosh. It is. I looked at the thermometer. It is 127 degrees outside right now. And our humidity is 7,000% humidity. That's how hot it is.
Wow. Yeah, it's feeling the same way in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is. I just can't do anything outdoors right now. I work early in the morning and late at night, and what I get done, I get done. It makes me wish I would have been more productive in the spring, but you know, it rains then too.
Yeah, I've found actually now in the evenings, the sun goes down, you wait about half hour or so. I mean, you don't have a lot of time unless you have lights in your wood yard, but yeah, I haven't been able to do much either. It's just so hot, and it's not so much, I don't know, I just don't have the motivation to go out in it.
It saps you of your will to go on.
Yes.
I think we need to start taking multivitamins and eating at salad bars and just get all of the depleted nutrients put back into our bodies, because everything is sweat out. I can't even go out to my truck without breaking into a sweat. And then after a while, I just get tired of just sweating. The one benefit, though, is that the grass isn't growing. So it's not like we have to go mow the grass.
Yeah, well, see, that's what last weekend we had storms every day, and so we got a bunch of rain, and now with this heat, I actually have to mow. I've mowed the lawn twice in the last 10 days, I think. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's too bad. That's one of the problems. You know, you never want to have a drought, but everyone's always praying for rain. But the only problem is then the grass starts growing, and then you got to mow it.
Yep.
Why can we put robots on Mars, but we can't invent a grass that doesn't grow? I don't know.
Our only grows
think of how
4
much-
inches.
Just think of how much benefit that could bring to the world. Know how much fuel we could save by not having to fuel up lawnmowers. Yeah. So, okay. So let's promise we're committing. We are not going to complain about the weather for today's episode. And everyone, my name is Joe, and I'm sitting next to my good friend Dan, and we are the Wood Hounds, the #1 firewood podcast in the world.
Yes. And today, no mention of how miserable the weather is anymore.
No,
we're done.
No, not at all. Yeah. So I am a small YouTube channel, Ohio Wood Burner. Dan is a small YouTube channel, Back 40 Firewood. And about a year and a half ago, we were kicking around the idea of starting a podcast and just bringing firewood to a new area of, I don't know, do you consider podcast social media or not?
Yeah, I would.
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like in the blogging instead. That's what I think started most of it. People just started, they would get a website and they would just start typing in about a day in their life or whatever their interest is. And then with smartphones and everything, and then podcasting started. So we thought, what the heck, let's give it a shot. And I'd have to say our success has been pretty good.
I would have to agree with you. Yeah, it's just another format to maybe have like a little longer conversation on certain topics, or get more in detail, in depth than what you might find on a YouTube video. You know, and the only thing I will point out, I think we might have to, I don't know. I know you consider yourself a small channel, Joe, but I think I stumbled across some statistics the other day. Did you know that only 3% of all YouTube channels ever reach 10,000 subscribers?
Wow.
So
So that could be a skewed number, however, because there's a lot of channels out there, and it's not like a person would start a channel to become a YouTube channel, where I have a number of channels where I put my own personal videos, the kids growing up and all. I guess that would count as a YouTube channel, but it's not like it's productive,
well, yeah,
you know?
anyone who uploads, I guess, was considered a channel. But still, there's a lot of them out there, and
Yeah, I see. When I think of big channels, I think of like millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. And it depends on which, I hate this word, which niche you're
niche.
in. And I hate that word. It's like the word coupon. I don't like that word either. It's weird.
Coupon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you think about the niche, the area of interest, for firewood, okay, we're amongst the biggest, I guess. But maybe that's because the firewood niche isn't as big as finance or music, or I don't know, what are the big ones out there. So when I still think, I don't think I don't think we're big in the grand scheme of things, but
Oh,
I guess it depends on your perspective.
there you go. It's all about perspective. You got
Yeah.
that. But I don't know if what do you mean like other niches bigger than firewood? Firewood is king.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Is finance? Who wants to learn about that?
Yeah. I often wonder too. I can only speculate, but I'm probably half right and half wrong, or I just don't, because I just can't get in the head of everyone that's out there. I think what firewood on YouTube brings to people is a hobby or just an interest. I think there's a lot of people out there that used to do it but can't do it anymore, so it's enjoyable for them to watch. I think a lot of people have that business side to them where they're looking for ideas. Some people just like machines. I think that there's a wide range of interests of what draws people to firewood on not just YouTube, but also on the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of that, and I think it's something that I think social media has just shined a different light on. I think like for me growing up, when I thought and heard the word firewood, I mean, that's just something that my dad made me do for work around the farm. That was what it was. And but now, like, yeah, if you go to Google and you type in firewood, I mean, there's all kinds of different avenues to go down, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Do you do that? I do that when I get bored sometimes. Just go to Google and just type in some random word and let it, what do they say, take you down the rabbit hole, your Alice in Wonderland reference.
Yes.
But yeah, type in firewood. If I would ask everyone who's out there, if you get a chance, if you're on your computer or you get on the Google, just type in firewood and look and see where it takes you. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And Google, I think, will automatically like use your location if you have that set up in your preferences and kind of direct you to firewood locally. And then you can go down and then you get into like, what questions people are asking about firewood, the most searched questions, what people are
Yeah.
searching for. Yeah, and it is interesting to see all those things, but I've never really actually done this. This is something.
Yeah. So I go to
Cool.
Google. Okay. So you type in firewood. And then along the bottom of the search bar, you can click on news, maps, images, jobs, reviews, addresses, and it can like refine what you're
Yeah.
searching. So I'll just type in firewood and I click on news. And that's where you see like a guy got arrested for beating someone with firewood. It's some town that you've never heard of, and there's like a picture of some guy in his mugshot, with got like a stick of firewood sticking out of his ear or something. And then like the other ones are these, there's always news about these permits. And I don't know what that is. That's like something out west, maybe on federal land where people you just can't go out into the woods and take firewood. You got to have a permit to do it. Is that what that is?
I think it might be. I have heard of that here in Wisconsin, where they will open up for certain time periods, like the state land or state forests for just people to go in, and you get a permit. You can go in, and I think you're allowed to cut so much or take so much. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I do believe that's what it's for
Yeah.
harvesting firewood.
Yeah. And then so when I clicked on news, I didn't get the date of this one here. I don't know if it's recent, but there was a fire at a firewood yard, a production facility in Florida. And I guess it was pretty bad. There was a couple of firefighters that got injured fighting this. It's called Alachua County in Florida. And, these are the things that you just don't hear of. But, on a national scale or on a world scale, when you use Google, you start seeing these things.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that that's always been on my mind, especially when I worked here at home, was the risk of fire, because there's just so much of that chaff and scraps that's laying around. And all it takes is just one spark and no one's paying attention or that's what I am just really strict on smoking. There's no smoking around my place. Just because of that,
Yeah, that would be, especially if once the fire gets going, like then you're done. Your inventory is gone. I mean, that would not be good.
Yeah.
That is a risk. Never thought.
Yeah, that's probably, I don't know if it was simply because of risk management for fire, but I keep my firewood at multiple places. And that's probably a unintended positive effect is I'm spreading my risk, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, you could also just make sure you are always selling all your dry stuff and only stacking your green, and then that wouldn't burn.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I would if the place catches on fire, I'd just start throwing oak firewood into it to put it out. Yeah. Yeah, but that's nothing to joke about here, though. I'm reading this article. So this was at the Southern Fuelwood Company in Newberry. And oh my gosh, I feel terrible for these guys because that's people's livelihood,
Right.
And yeah, it's not just the loss of your inventory, but obviously people getting hurt and your machines getting damaged in the fire and all. That's awful.
Well, and you're out of business for how many months then? Because to rebuild and regain your inventory, you got a long ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another one. It's by the Saratoga Forest Management. I think this is in Wyoming. They used to give away free firewood. I think it's a sawmill or something, and they would give the offcuts away. But now they have quit doing that because of people disrespecting the area, leaving their garbage behind.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's disappointing to hear. I can speak from experience there too. When I had my open house, we had all those people, and the next morning I was exhausted. I went home. The next morning when the sun came up, I drove over to clean up the parking lot. There was not a single nothing in the parking lot. Not a wrapper, not a nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you would think that people that take the effort to do firewood, would be a little bit more respectful of the land.
Yeah. I left a few things behind in your wood yard. You haven't found them yet, though, apparently. So.
My Dr. Pepper cans.
Oh, there's a few more surprises. I made sure to stash them in a place where it'd take you a few months to get to them. But there's some. Let's do a quick little pop quiz here. I'm gonna quiz you of the questions people also ask on firewood, and we'll see what your answers are.
Okay.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Which wood is best for firewood?
Well, I guess it depends, but I say maple. People that are just exclusive in the BTU, you'd think you got to go with locust, oak, apple. Um, what are your other high
Yeah,
BTUs? Osage orange, which I've never dealt with, but
I
yeah,
was surprised to see the fruit trees. Most fruit trees are like actually hot burning.
apple and
So
pear, not cherry though. I think cherry is
no.
pretty low BTU.
What here's another one. How
All right.
long does hardwood firewood last?
So do they
And
mean last as in a stack before you burn it, or when it's on fire?
yes, not burning it. How long does hardwood
Keep.
last?
Yeah. How long does it keep? Yeah. I have so there's a wide discrepancy in hardwoods. There's some woods like uh sycamore that doesn't keep well. I think it dries out almost like the balsa wood if it sits around too long. Maple can get a little punky over time. But others like ash, I think, keeps a long time. Oak keeps a long time, as long as it's stacked and split. If it's left into a log, it's going to rot out and then
Yep.
get nasty.
Yep.
But split off of the ground, I think generally I would just give a blanket statement of 2 years it would keep. But if it was maple or something else, I would want to burn it by the end of the first year.
Yeah, this answer was 3 to 4 years. You should
Yeah,
keep. Oh yeah.
I would think it would get a little bit weird after that too. I don't know, but keeping it stacked, you'd have a lot of rodents and filth in it that long.
Yeah, and I think also depends on if you had it like stacked under cover, like in a woodshed. You'd probably keep
Yeah,
a little longer than out in the elements.
yeah, possibly.
Yeah, let's
Um,
see.
I just think that the fact that there's a firewood shortage every year, that's probably not the case, anyways.
Here's one that you can answer. Can firewood get rained on?
Oh yeah, yeah. That gets into that whole debate about covering your wood or not covering it, and I don't cover mine. I think it's good for it to get rained on. Those barbecue chips that I made, I had a bunch of them spread out on my driveway because they cook better on the hot like that. They get rained on all the time. They dry right off. I think it even helps percolate. Is that the right word? The moisture internal to get out of it even
To
faster.
wick it out.
Yeah, that, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. I think once wood seasons, it doesn't act like a sponge. Like I don't think it doesn't reabsorb moisture real fast. So you can have your wood get rained on, and it'll dry right back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there. There's three quick little trivia questions off the people also ask about firewood from
All right.
Google.
Yeah. Here is a article out of New Hampshire about this one location is starting to use a kiln to help them with invasive species, because I don't think they've got the emerald ash borer yet to the degree that we had it out here in Ohio. We there are no emerald ash borers in Ohio anymore because there's no more ash trees. They're all dead. They're deader in the elm. You think of like trees that were destroyed by invasive species or disease, and certainly the elm is at the top of the list, but I see a bunch of them out there. There's a lot of elms out there still. I never see a live ash tree though. They're all dead. They're like, what are they? The chestnut tree. I don't even know if I've ever seen one of them. I remember my dad talking about the American chestnut. They're all gone too.
Yeah, yeah. We have the problem with the ash borer up here, and then also the oak wilt is really hitting hard up here.
Uh-huh. I saw a article the other day. There was a new disease. Well, it's not new, but I don't know if I've heard. Is it 1,000 cankers? It's called. Have you heard of that before?
I have not.
It's called the 1,000 cankers disease. It's mostly in the west. It says here it's in the western United States, and it affects black walnut. Interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I found that out from Googling firewood. Trust me, when it is not 100 degrees outside, I don't do this. I'm outside. I'm outside doing something else, And I don't know, when there are also times, you ever get it to where like you've just worked yourself kind of hard and you need to give your back a break or something. And I'll do that. I'll sit in the air conditioning, just take the day off, and then I'm bored. My mind starts wandering, and
And
then I start Googling.
and all of a sudden, 6 hours later, there you are
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get bored. So the other technique that I do, I'll type in firewood and then just some random something like Pink Floyd and see if anything comes up.
Let's see what I'm gonna type something in here. Oh, let's see. Um, interesting. I typed in firewood and Ohio, and
Did I
look
come
at
up?
that. I see you.
Really? What is it?
Ohio
My
wood
website?
burner. Yep.
My website. Okay.
And then if I scroll down, there's a couple of videos here. Yep.
All right. So that is the learning experience that I've had. And the one thing that I keep repeating is that I do not know what I'm doing. But what I did right was I got onto the internet. And that is how marketing is done these days. If someone needs to buy diapers, they get on their phone and type in diapers for sale near me. If you need to buy an electric scooter or a car battery, that's how shopping is done. And I look at I still see it now. You go to the grocery store, you go to the bulletin board, and all of these tear offs for people selling firewood and stuff. Come on. Everyone's got a smartphone.
Yep.
Get yourself a website. I'm into my 5th year. My advertising budget has been $0. I have a free website. I have a friend that helped me with it. And that I've gotten every penny of everything I've ever sold because of that website. And here we are. We're both social media people in firewood, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. What else?
Instagram.
Podcasting, Instagram, yes, podcasting. And you got to have a website, man. If you're in any kind of business, get a website. It's just the way the world goes now.
Yeah, it definitely, and even like if you like Google right here, if you just type in firewood for sale, it automatically fills in the near me. Like it's gonna
Right.
guide you right to firewood suppliers, producers in your area. So if you sell firewood, get yourself a website and people will probably find you a lot easier than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's what I do though. When I'm I don't when I do, I'm on YouTube a lot, but I will confess that I really don't watch a lot of firewood um, on YouTube. I'll see some that get recommended and I'll just click on them. But I don't know. I just got varied interests and they ebb and flow. So I don't see a lot of other channels on YouTube, firewood channels. But I see, I watch just a bunch of other stuff. I think my viewing history probably gives the YouTube algorithm a nervous breakdown because I watch I just got such just you know um, interests that just don't make any sense. They're not relative to each other, but that's just the way I am.
So you do watch though to be entertained and for enjoyment.
Yeah, I'll watch when I was working on my truck. Yes, I'll look for that. If I need to fix something, absolutely, I'll use YouTube as a reference for that. One of the most challenging things I've ever done working on a car was I replaced my heater core. We had an older Mercury Sable. It's like a Ford Taurus, and they were known for their heater cores to quit. They get plugged up. So it's a big deal to take them out. You have to remove the entire dashboard from the car. And I would have never done that job if not for YouTube. And it was like a $2,000 job for Ford to do it, you know. And
Oh,
I did. I just watched some guy do it on YouTube, and I was like, that's easy. I'll do it. And I did it. So I watch YouTube for that and for entertainment.
yeah. See, every now and then I will sit down and watch for entertainment, and I peruse around different topics as well. But for the most part, anytime I'm watching a video that sparks my interest, I'm watching it and trying to learn from it what I can do better with my content. Like, that's my mindset, is like always in that mode where it's hard for me to switch off and sit down and just enjoy watching something.
Yeah, I do. I'll watch channels too to appreciate their production, the way that they do their cameras and stuff. If
Yeah.
you recall, I had forwarded you that one channel. She's not very active. She's a teenager. Was she like a 19-year-old that bought a van, an old Dodge van, and she remodeled it herself and went on a tour of the United States? She should be a millionaire. Her cinematography, her editing is just off the charts. And I was thinking, gosh, if I just had 1/10 of what this kid could do. And I'm back at it, holding up my cell phone, trying to think that am I looking at the camera or not,
Am I in frame? Where am I? What's behind me? What's up?
Yeah. I still think in the grand scheme of things too, maybe that's getting back to me thinking I'm a small channel. It's just my formula though. I don't have a lot of editing in mine, and not a lot of music and stuff. It's just me and the camera.
Yep. Yeah. Well, here, wait, I think Google just told me, yeah, man in Ohio tries to show world he knows what he's talking about with firewood. And there you are. And then right underneath it says, man in Wisconsin, hobbyist, trying to prove he knows what he can do with firewood.
Oh, God. Yeah, interesting, Dan. I just Googled firewood and yoga pants, and guess who came up?
I hope not me. I hope my wife.
Yeah. That would be awful. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever, well, actually, you may have found my channel, but hopefully not any pictures of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there are all kinds of. So just the word firewood, just to give you an indication here on Google, just before we get ready to wrap it up here, because I might start going down a rabbit hole we can't get out of. But
yeah,
there are 110 million results.
No kidding.
For firewood.
How about our next episode? Let's go down each one of them.
Let's click on each link. 110 million.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Well, I remember someone saying, I think I saw it on a t-shirt, firewood is the world's other oldest profession.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dan, we could be doing this all day long, but it's not like I got to go outside and get work done, because I'm not going to. I'm going to stay inside and type in firewood and electric trains and see what comes up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I said, I think we need to wrap this up before I start taking on your habits of sitting here and Googling, because this is quite interesting to see all the results. And but just quick, I want to throw out there to the people listening, if you have any search terms related to firewood that you use, or any interesting sites you've come across with firewood, send us an email to thewoodhounds@gmail.com, because I'd be interested to see what results you end up finding.
Yeah, Dan, I'm not even listening to you right now. I just typed in firewood and Burger King, and it's just amazing what comes up.
Yeah, that could be. Let me try something here. Oh wait. Oh boy. Yeah. Never mind. We better wrap this up. My search terms are filling in.
Yeah, let's keep that. Let's hit the buzz button there, so no one.
Yep.
We don't want to get thrown off the air.
Good
here.
thing we're not showing visuals.
All right. Well, Dan, how about let's strike up the band and let's head on out. And let's thank everyone for tuning in and helping make the Woodhounds podcast the greatest firewood podcast in the world.
Yes, and we'll see you right back here next week. Each and every Wednesday, new episodes at 5 a.m. Eastern on your favorite podcasting platform.
And we want to tell everyone to be
safe.
Consider. I got you there.
I have no idea. Consider Google. I don't know.
And by all means, have
a great day.